Hello all. Uh, Very warm welcome to the second part of the webinar series on the art of heart-centered spiritual living. Uh, Thank you for your great response in the last webinar and a lot of questions and comments which I received. Today we are going to go a little bit deeper into this art of heart-centered spiritual living and get some practical tips around what we do to live a heart-centered spiritual life. I would also be going to share a demo with you guys at the end of this session. And I have recorded this session with a few of the folks who I've been working with, and this would be a good input in helping you understand how this process works. So before I jump into this second session, I just want to quickly recap what all I covered in the last session. So the last session, I actually covered the few things, which is like what is heart-centered spiritual living, and what all it involves. I also discussed what really happens when you're living in a heart-centered spiritual way, and some of the key things were like there is a natural balance, flow, and ease. There is openness, zeal, and enthusiasm, and you really feel that you are living the life which you want to live. And on the same note, I also shared with you what happens when you are living a life which is lacking heart-centeredness, and things like you're living out of conditioning and limitations. You would feel like you're experiencing pushing through the life rather than being moved by the inspiration. Also, there would be a lack of fulfillment at one level or other, which is like spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And I also shared with you what does balance looks like, and one of the key aspects of having a balance at all the levels, which is physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, is that you would feel authentic power. We discussed what is authentic power, and authentic power is actually alignment of all of your life energy, which is mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, working together with your soul. I shared with you what are the signs of being in authentic power, and what it involves to create that authentic power. And one of the key things which came up was the awareness. You need to have the awareness to create authentic power. And there are two kinds of awareness which I shared. One was personal awareness, also known as vertical awareness, and relational awareness. And personal awareness is the conscious connection with what's going on with your internal reality, and what really happens, or to be aware of what is really happening at your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and at the spiritual self. And also, once you are aware at that level, you are actually being guided, and you would feel that there is a sense of guidance which is moving along. Other than that, I shared with you the second awareness, which was relational awareness. Relational awareness is the conscious connection to what's moving at the external reality. And what I mean by this is like, first, by having personal awareness, you would know what's going on with you, but by having relational awareness, you would also be aware of what's going on in your environment, which is including people and different situations, scenarios, and also how do you know how to connect with somebody, how to meet them where they are, so that you can have a much more better connection. And once you have a better connection, you can have a more fulfilling relationship, so you can share your ideas, inspirations from your heart. And when you share that, it is in a way that it lands with others, so they exactly know what is going on with you. And the reason why we want to be aware of what's moving with us, and is it allows us to open up a path towards authentic power. And one of the key things which we really want to be aware of is emotions, because emotions are the ones which are a key guidance system which is available to us to tap into, so that we can know what's moving for us in this life. And what I mean by that is like emotion gives us a very good idea of where we are in our life based on the emotions which you feel. And emotions are a complex net of thoughts, feelings, and belief systems, and all of these which we have picked up as we are growing up from our childhood to wherever we are. And why we want to focus on emotions is because if we can't feel them, what's really there, you can't heal them. So you have to feel all the emotions through, so that you can heal all the parts of you which are not integrated. And we talked about unintegrated and unprocessed emotions and the reasons why they are unintegrated and unprocessed emotions. And one of the key facts why we really want to understand them is because these are the very emotions which are not allowing us to come into into our fullness. Like we have been practicing different kind of meditations, different we are following some kind of a path, or even if we are just aware, but ultimately beyond a certain point, all of these practices help us, but beyond a certain point, they haven't given us the level of power to create the long-lasting change which we really want. And last time I talked about unintegrated and unprocessed emotions, and one of the key things which I shared with you was the potential of our life experiences downloaded during uh, our growing years, which are like the last 7 months in our womb. It happens vibrationally. Uh, and during the first 1 to 7 years, it happens emotionally, and then the next 7 years, it happens mentally, and then finally, uh, for next 7 years, which is like from 14 to 21 at a physical level, and all of us grow in our own ways. But if we are not developed emotionally during the years of 1 to 7 years, which is when the actual parenting takes place, we can grow at all the other levels, like physical, at mental level, by having a great education, by working out, and just going through the natural cycle of life. But we would remain emotionally immature, and that was one of the reasons why uh, a lot of us would find ourselves challenged with the similar kind of response, irrespective of what is happening in the outside world, means whatever is happening in the situations outside. So what I'm going to share with you is a little bit deep dive into what exactly are emotions and how they function and how to really sort through this complex space of uh, emotional energies so that we can actually find a way to live a more fulfilling life. So let me share the screen with you guys, and uh, that way you can see some of the pictures which I want to share with you. So if you see, emotions are current of energy that run through us. In other words, emotions are energy in motion, and it needs, all that is required for emotion is to really move. If it's not moving, then it creates a block, and all the blocked emotions remains unintegrated, unprocessed, and they can last for years. And you can carry the charge of this unprocessed and unintegrated emotions for a very, very long time unless you do something to integrate them and come to peace with them. And it doesn't really matter whether emotions are so-called good or bad, depending on how you label them. Otherwise, in my way, when I understand emotions, I don't label them as good and bad. It's just energies which are available there. So another way to look at it is like I shared with you guys this last time also, emotional map, which is like there are 14 basic emotions, and there are other emotions which are part of the same family. And if you can see, there is this, if you can see the range from cold to hot or to a place of balance, you can see that happiness is in a very balanced state, which is like a combination of uh, your own power and at the same time tapping into your own self-worth and working with love here. But if you see somebody at a level which is envy, it's very much into the darker side. They are not really experiencing the power and fullness the way they want to. And at the same time, if you really see somebody angry, it's not a clean kind of energy there. Yeah. There is a mixture there. And similarly, there is depression related emotions, which is more or less lack of emotions, that you are not able to feel uh, anything in its fullness, whether it's joy or sadness. So, irrespective of whatever is happening, these 14 emotions form a further subset of emotions, and you can see various degrees of in between emotion, like between sadness and anger and things like that. that emotional awareness is the remedy in a way, which is the healing remedy for from fixation from what's going on at an internal level and at the external level. And what I mean by that is we spend a lot of time in our life trying to fix things outside. Oh, this thing is not making me feel good, so let me go and change this. Maybe you change the apartment or the house in which you are living. You change your neighborhood, but ultimately, it hasn't fixed what is really causing you to feel whatever you are feeling at an emotional level internally. You've just changed the physical circumstances. So, whereas emotional awareness is about finding the root cause and working on it rather than treating the symptoms. Because once you fix the root cause, which are part of the unintegrated and unprocessed emotions, you actually move on and understand what's moving for you inside. You understand the messages which are coming through these emotions, and you work on what is required at that moment. So, so there are two ways you can be aware of what's moving on at the emotional level. One is at the internal level, and this is people are usually fixated on the events of their life, and they're so self-absorbed. And what I mean by that is they're telling whatever has happened in the past, they keep on telling the same stories again and again. And why when this thing happened, this is what they felt, these kind of emotions were there. And by repeating that story again and again, it's like their story becomes the center of attention in their life. And they get so absorbed with it that they can't see what's moving on at the outside level. There are other people who are actually going through the waves of the emotions, but they are not really aware what kind of emotions are moving on because they are so much focused on the circumstances around them. And what I mean by that is like they are so focused on who created that kind of a scenario, or who was the trigger, or what was the trigger for them. It could be a person or a situation. So every time they would actually go out and try to burst their anger or their disappointment on some situation or somebody outside. They are they are totally externally aware of what was there, what were the triggers, rather than be focused on what is going on in this moment right now. So it's once you become aware of your emotional landscape, then you would realize it's not that much black and white. And as I shared with you in the previous slide, the 14 basic emotions, and you can see there's a whole lot of color there, moving from a place of total depression where there is nothing to place of anger, uh, shame, contempt, to happiness, love, joy, all of this. So you would realize that as you become more and more aware about your emotions inside, you would realize that there is a lot more to work with. There are so many different messages coming in so many different forms for you to take you to the next level. So if you try to understand that the emotions which are there, what is the source of actually these emotions coming? Like, where are these emotions coming from? And it doesn't matter whether they're anger, anxiety, happiness, or pride. None of this actually depends on what's happening outside. And some of you might find it a very challenging thing, like because somebody said something and it triggered something inside me, and I started responding or reacting in a particular way. And the keyword here is the trigger. So they are just the triggers, but all the emotions are actually coming from your energy system. An energy system is, I would go in detail on this, and these energy systems are sometimes known as also the chakra system inside, and they don't depend on your interaction with people or things outside, what's moving on. All your emotions are actually coming from how the energy is being processed by your energy system, and also how uh, also all these triggers, which are people, situations, circumstances, you are actually looking at them, and there is a belief system around it. What does it that situation means? What does that circumstance means? How this person, whatever they say, means to you? It gets uh, these triggers create a certain kind of situational awareness inside you, and how do you interpret these situations is totally different to how the person next to you would interpret in the same situation. Like, for example, if there are 5 people watching the same movie at the same time, they all five would be going through different set of emotion, and some of them might sometimes all of five would be going through the same emotion. But if you see all five would be going through different emotions, somebody would be indifferent to whatever is going on, somebody would be very much engaged into that, somebody would be going through all the emotions what that character is presenting on the screen. Same movie, same characters, same time, but a different response, emotional response from inside, which means that all of these external situations and circumstances are actually just triggers, and how you interpret that, and of all these five people watching through the same movie, watching the same characters at the same time, are going through different emotions. Somebody's indifferent, and somebody is very much engaged, and somebody is going through exactly the same emotion as the character on the screen is going through. So same movie, same situation, same time being experienced by five different people are creating five different kind of emotions if you just simplify it. But ultimately, none of this depends on what's going on outside. It's how you are interpreting it inside, and how this interpretation is actually creating a certain kind of energy movement which your energy system is processing, and that's what is creating the emotions there. So another way to understand is, as energy flows through each center in your energy system, it creates different experiences in you, and these experiences are technically your emotions. And this is coming from the work of Gary Zukav, from the book The Heart of the Soul. And I would use some of their references to explain all of these things better, and also understand each emotion is actually a message from your soul. And what I mean by that is, like, depending on how you are living these emotions are actually uh, the messages. Like, if you're feeling positive emotions, if you want to call them so that they're positive emotions versus negative emotions, then they are uh, positive emotions are sharing the parts of you which are healthy, and the so-called uncomfortable emotions or negative emotions are uh, the parts which are unhealthy. Okay, so we would go through that in a little bit of detail to make you understand what I really mean. So this is what I was sharing about energy system. As energy flows through each center in your energy system, it creates different experiences in you, and those experiences are your emotions. Each emotion is a message from your soul. So let's check what is this energy system is. What are these chakras? So your chakra and energy system has 7 centers, and as energy flows through each center in your energy system, it creates different experiences in you. And as we would go a little bit in detail about these energy centers, you would realize that these energy centers are at a different, or are all at different places in your body. So there are two ways. So irrespective of how, which energy center the energy is being processed, what is key to understand is that energy is processed in two ways. Means, like, your energy, once it's processed, it can leave your energy system in two ways. One is it can leave in fear and panic, and or it can leave in love and faith. So there are two ways in which energy can leave. And releasing energy from your energy system in love and faith produces health and vitality. And energy living in fear and pain would create unsafety, worry. You would have emotions like anger and all those kind of stuff. So there are two ways in which the energy is being released through the energy system. And part of this release of this energy is depending on how it's being interpreted at the mental level also. Your belief system, how they come into picture. So so if you want to see this screen right now, uh, this is how your 7 energy centers or chakras look like. So this is the first chakra, this second chakra, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. And another way to look at it is, like, each one of them is assigned a different color. They have a different meaning and understanding, and how you work through them. So I would not go through this picture in detail, but what I'm going to share with you is go through each one of these chakras so that explain you how exactly this whole thing is working. So if you really see these emotions, this is how different emotions are. You can label them differently. Some of you can relate what exactly it is because you go through the same emotions. Some people go through one set of emotions more, other go through other set of emotions more, and not just in human beings. If you can see the the animals also, they have different set of emotions which they represent. So so to understand what's happening at each and every center, let's see uh, how these energy centers work and what is the meaning behind each one of them. So if you see, the first energy center which we are talking about is the crown chakra, and crown chakra is the one which is actually it's called the seventh energy center, uh, and I'm going to talk about both seventh and sixth here. So the seventh center is the crown of your head. This is where energy actually enters into your system as long, and this is active as long as you're alive. And uh, it is also the center which connects you with the non-physical universe, which is like the universe beyond, not the physical plane, but the non-physical planes also. The sixth center is your forehead between your eyes, and it enables you to recognize the opportunities that your that that your experiences offer you at the spiritual level. This center is right in middle of your forehead between your eyebrows, and this center allows you to see more than what your five senses can show you. It allows you to show the intentions of others even when they don't express it. And what I mean by this is, like, if you meet somebody and you're talking to them and they're being really, really sweet, but inside they don't like you, but they're not expressing that part. Uh, but somehow they are just being very sweet. And once they leave, you realize that, oh, they are being really sweet, but I don't really feel that 100% sweetness there. It means, like, I feel there is some kind of a mixture. And what is enabling you to have that understanding that it's not 100% authentic sweetness is that your sixth center, which is interpreting what's going on beyond what is available at those uh, what is available through those five senses. It also enables you to recognize the opportunities that your experiences offer you to grow at a spiritual level. So the next center I'm going to talk to you about is the fifth center, which is your throat chakra. And throat chakra is a very key chakra. What happens is that when you are working on your through your throat chakra, it's like, a good way to understand it is like, imagine yourself, you are in front of a person who is very intimidating, and how your voice would be. Would you be feel comfortable to explain yourself to them? Would you have a good discussion with them? Because there is a sense of intimidation there. You don't feel 100% safe. Consider the same thing with a person with whom you have a very good connection. Somebody who loves you, supports you, like maybe your best friend, um, your well-wisher. So at that moment, when the energy is leaving in love and faith, you express yourself clearly and easily, and your voice is full and strong. It doesn't waver. It is not tentative. But if you bring the same kind of situation where you're you're interacting with somebody who's intimidating, at that time your energy is leaving in fear and panic. And when energy leaves in fear and panic, your expression is constricted, uh, and you cannot convey what you feel. So let me show you the image, and that would clarify a little bit more. So this is the throat chakra, which I was mentioning, and I was talking about love and faith, how energy lives in love and faith and fear and panic. So the first three centers, 1, 2, and 3, the seventh, sixth, and fifth, they form a group, and through this group, energy enters your chakra energy system. It enables you to see beyond the limitations of your five senses, and it also empowers you to express yourself. So the next center is the fourth center, which is your heart center. As you can see, this heart center is a really amazing center. So when energy lives in love and trust, you radiate warmth and compassion. You feel connected to fall of the life. You can also feel the pain and joy of others, because you are able to feel the pain and joy of yours also. You also care for others, and you're very open and welcoming. But at the same time, when energy lives in fear and panic, you feel you feel that pain in your chest. Like you feel like your heart seems closed, and because of that, you might judge and compare people, and you would be more interested in the possession than the people, and all of this creates more and more complexity. And you would have find, even if you are not that kind of a person, you would have find people who are heart center is closed by some of these signs, and because their heart is closed, they would feel that kind of pain in the chest, and the healing of that pain is actually, you have to forgive. Forgiveness is the medicine for that. The third center is the solar plex, which is this area, which is right under your rib cage, and this center is up just above your stomach and just below your rib cage. And this is center which actually feels the impact when you feel a part of you is compromised, or a whole of you is compromised. And what I mean by that is, you feel that you feel challenged in a way where you are going to lose your prestige, or you lose your respect, or you lose your value, and it is a direct threat to your own uh, presence there. So so when energy leaves in fear and panic, you feel it like you have this expression. You feel it in the pit of your stomach. And all the organs around this area, which is your stomach and your lungs and other comfort, other organs, they actually feel the energy shift there if it's moving in fear and pain. And if the energy is being released in love and faith, what is actually happening is, you feel more power here. Like you can actually deal with any situation. There is a sense of strength which is already available inside. But the more, if the energy leaves in fear and pain, you would realize it's very hard for you to stay present in your own body. You will feel the pain in this area each time you feel fear, and then you're not able to accomplish anything. Like sometimes you would realize that uh, there are butterflies, there. So coming to the second center, which is also the creative center, and this is the center which I'm talking about. Uh, this energy center is also the one where all your reproductive organs are, and most people actually associate this with sex. And it is not really about just reproduction. It's the reproduction of everything. And what I mean by that is, it's a reproduction of all the ideas, all the creativity, all that which you want to accomplish in your life, like your new thoughts, your insights. How do you want to live your life? All of this is available in this chakra. And you might have seen a lot of high performing athletes, people who actually uh, reach the higher destination, or reach their final goals, whatever they have planned. They manage this chakra very well, whether they are aware or not. But the energy here is the key which they manage, so that they can use it in the right way, to be more creative, to create better understanding and insights, to drive them towards their purpose. So when energy leaks in fear and panic, uh, what people usually do is that they look forward to exploiting circumstances and others. And because of this, you have a lot of strong sexual cravings, and you would need somebody to satisfy you. And all the focus is about satisfying your own cravings at that time. And but at the same time, when energy lives in love and trust, it transforms your experience into co-creative celebration of life. And what I mean by this is, you would get new ideas. You would really feel that every single day you get up, you are looking for new opportunities, how you can contribute to your life, what really would enable you to come into your fullness. So let's go to the last chakra, or the energy center. It's also called the root chakra, and this is a this is a very powerful center, because this is the center which connects you with the earth. And when energy leaves this center in love and trust, you feel at home on the earth, and which also means that you would also feel very grounded. Like you are rooted in your experience, you're very present with whatever is going on. And you would also feel very nourished, if you're if the energy is living in love and faith. And you would also be able to see the rhythm of the of life, like how the seasons come on the earth, how there is night after day, and you would be at peace with it. So it is almost like you would feel at home. But at the same time, when energy lives in fear and panic, the earth won't feel like a home. You would feel threatened. And that's why a lot of people, you would realize, is like they're living here, being here in the body, but they are not present here because they feel so challenged. This life on the earth is so challenging. They almost feel like they don't belong here. So, uh, so releasing energy from this center in fear and panic actually prevents you from learning what you need to learn while you are on this earth. So uh, coming to this understanding of all these chakras, they actually, if you really understand, they actually create an amazing system for you to experience a lot of different emotion depending on how the energy is leaving from each of these energy centers or chakras. And some of you are aware of this, how this, like, because some of you would have worked on Kundalini and how to uh, raise your energy and stuff like that. But each chakra has a very specific thing. And if you really see, because of your belief systems, your conditioning, and how you interpret life, and also how there's a complex mix of unintegrated and unprocessed emotion. If you are not able to bring your energy centers or chakras to release energy in love and faith, then automatically the energy is getting released in negativity, and it creates pressure over a period of time, that because each emotion is accompanied by the chemical which is coming in your body. So I'm not a doctor here, but on a very basic understanding, if you keep on living through the same emotion, it keeps on generating the same kind of chemicals. And what it ultimately leads is that those organs around that chakra would start bearing the burden of that kind of energy processing, and then you might just uh, end up having different issues around that area. So all the issues actually start like at an internal level, and if it's not taken care of there at the internal level, it leads to different kind of diseases. And diseases, like, as you know, is disease. So but that disease starts at the emotional level first. So coming to the most key part of this discussion on this webinar is, I want to discuss with you is the fourth chakra, which is the heart center. And heart center is very important because it is, if you really see, let me show you one image. Uh, if you see this image, see, heart center is right here in the middle. So there are three energy centers above, three energy centers below. But this heart center is the one which is, in a way, holding the balance for all the three centers above and all the three centers below. It is the center which is the key in some ways to really manage the energy which is going through, because irrespective of wherever the energy is flowing from top to bottom, it's ultimately, if your heart chakra is not functioning properly, wherever the blockage is at any of the energy centers, you would feel that block into your heart center, like your heart would seem like closed. And we would go a little bit in detail to understand what I really mean by that. Uh, that's why a heart chakra is it's like it's like uh, it's like a valve. So as this valve is there, this is this is this allowing you to come into more of your understanding of how it opens, how it closes. So the reason I'm using it as example of a valve is for you to understand that different experiences would open your heart, and the experiences which are not so pleasant would close your heart like a valve. And it's a very sensitive this very heart sensitive chakra. It actually can sense things which are not so obvious at a physical level. Like somebody saying something and it's not being authentic, even though they're being very sweet, like the example I used before. But you would not feel completely open to that particular person because underlying they are not happy with you, or they are not your well wishers, and your heart chakra would immediately sense it and it close it, and that's why you would realize that, oh, there's something not really okay with this situation or with this person. And the state of the heart changes regularly. They continuously keeps on being open, keeps on getting closed. And a lot of times when it is being blocked is when there's a lot of unfinished energy patterns from the past. They're old, unintegrated, unprocessed emotions, and which have been stuck there. And what it leads to is it creates its own kind of imprint inside. And what I mean by imprint inside is some of the cultures and religions talks about sanskara or samskara, and in simple language we can call it emotional imprints. So when this energy is blocked for whatever reason, like something painful was coming and you didn't allow it to pass through it, and sometimes it wasn't your choice, your nervous system automatically blocked that particular thing from coming or shut it down. Like for example, you have a very bad heartbreak, and it was so painful that your nervous system wanted to protect you, and the only way to protect you is to close that heart center for your own safety. And it didn't allow those emotions to pass through, and since those emotions didn't pass through, they become stuck, they get blocked there. And then you would know there would be a story around it. This is what created it, this is what the trigger was, even though you use different names, different ways to understand it, but somewhere it wasn't processed. So then there was a story, then there was a belief system, it shouldn't have happened this way, people should have been like this because I was with them like this complex belief system, perceptions, the values and the stories around it create a block, and because of which these emotions can get processed. And all the thought process and inner noise which is happening at that time is trying to make sense out of it, what's going on, and so that you can release it. But if you're not able to release it in a proper manner, uh, or it gets stuck, then a part of your that energy system at your heart center remains blocked. One way to understand it is like sometimes you would have a lot of questions, right? And you're looking for answers. Somebody comes and says something, or you witness something, and it could be very simple sometimes, and it makes sense to you in that moment. So the moment it makes sense to you is there is a sense of peace inside, like something clicked inside, and you are, oh, this is what it really means. So that at that moment you feel peace, and at that moment that block which was there gets automatically unblocked. So your heart, that's why you say like your heart understands the answers. Your mind doesn't understand the answers. Your mind is just about creating more questions, but your heart is the one which actually understands the answers. So initially, if it doesn't make the things doesn't make sense, there's a lot of noise, and you don't get a clear answer. Uh, it's not able to. Initially, the release is tried through a lot of mental noise. That's why you would think a lot. And if it's not released due to the old belief systems or old conditioning, then it tries to release the energy through the heart center. And when it is not released through the heart center, it is stored somewhere deep down into our heart, and in the form of what we call it samskara or sanskara, it becomes an emotional imprint. And in a very basic sense, that samskara or sanskara is an old energy pattern blocked from the past. And all it is a vibration, technically. And it's sitting there trying to find escape. And for whatever reason, your nervous system or your own conditioning is not allowing it to escape because it's not safe enough for you to open and let it go. Or you actually don't know the method. How do you open it and let it go? So, uh, so opening of your heart is the key for this energy center, that heart center, to work. And a lot of us are actually stuck into old patterns, old stories, and not allowing ourselves to open our hearts. And a very simple example could be, as you go through life, if everything is going fine, all the experiences are coming and going. So like you're driving on the freeway and all these scenes and sceneries are coming. You can look at the mountains, you can look at the trees and everything, it's coming and going. nothing is blocking, and every moment you're enjoying, you're very present there. But at the same time, like if a car passes by and it's a red car, and you see there is a couple inside the car who are hugging, and then you realize that, hey, that person inside is your partner, and he or she looks like your partner, and then immediately at that moment that scene comes into your heart, and there is something which doesn't goes well in your understanding. This shouldn't be happening, and it immediately gets stuck. Now you keep on telling your own stories. You're trying to come to a sense of peace so that this scene which has been stuck there and which has related emotion, it passes through. Because until unless it doesn't pass through, you keep on struggling with it. And then what happens is that now you continue to drive, but you're not enjoying that experience of driving. It's the same. There are mountains, there are trees, there are rivers, everything, but now you're stuck with this experience, and that's what happens with most of us in our life. If that particular emotion, that particular scene, and all the related emotion with this gets stuck, it blocks our heart, and we are not able to see anything beyond that. And that's why I was giving you the example of some people being so internally aware that they are stuck with their own stories. So something created it outside, and now it's stuck. And now, after a few years, for example, you are no longer with that particular partner. Every time you look at some other couple in the car, you have the similar kind of experience coming up again, whether it's a pain or is a hurt or whatever it is. And not just that, every time you look at a red car, it might create same kind of emotions for you. So if you see, it has nothing to do with the car. It's nothing to do with whatever has happened. Those were all just the triggers. But what you are experiencing is in this moment would be something which is stuck from the past. So since you are not able to make sense out of it, you have just put it in the back, in the background, and that has become a block, and it is taking its own energy. Now every time you meet somebody uh, with whom you have similar kind of relationship being developed, that experience would try to pop up and try to say this is not right, this is not going in the right way, because it has its own, because it was created with energy releasing fear and doubt. It would start creating more fear and more doubt inside you, until unless you process that experience and you integrate all those emotions which are left over from that, so that you can come to the peace, and you can use all of your energy of your system which is there for your own fulfillment of life, having a full experience of life, and uh, meeting and fulfilling the purpose for which you are here. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of time suppressing that block or not allowing it to work. And sometimes these blocks become your shadows, uh, and you have spent a whole lot of time hiding those shadows from others because they are not the best of the experience which are there. I don't want to go into that part today, but just to bring it so that you can have an understanding around it. So why do we really want to why do we really want to really open our heart? What is the such a key piece there? And one of the things which is really about opening the heart is when our hearts are open, we are actually able to connect to everything which is there. It's very easy to give and very easy to receive. So it's a practice which has to happen. This heart-centeredness is a practice. That's why we have to do it on an everyday basis, so that our heart remains open. And part of this practice is integrating all the old emotions so that they don't come into the way of us experiencing life, into the way of me giving my full myself to the life and experiencing the full joy of life. I don't want to live a half life, right? Uh, I don't want to live parts of my life. I want to live the fullness of my life. And when your heart center is closed because of different unprocessed and unintegrated emotions, I would not feel connection. And that's why uh, connection, that connection with other people, my own self, and other people is a measure of energy that actually is leaving your energy system in love and trust. And lack of it determines the energy leaving in panic and fear. So the experience of this connectedness which is this connection with others, with myself and others, the experience is not related to how others act or do not act, or how they speak or do not speak. It depends upon how energy leaves your energy system. That might be a little bit of a stretch for you to understand, or It might be a aha moment for you to understand that it's not depending on how other people are behaving, how other people are doing, because somebody might have said something and it has hurt you really bad, and you might be just sitting and waiting for that person to come and say sorry to you, and so that you can forgive and move and be at peace with it. And sometimes we carry those kind of things for a long, long period of our life. So it is also freeing to understand that this is not related to somebody else. It's that connection, that openness related to is related to the energy which is leaving my energy system in love and trust. So I just want to share a couple of things with you around this connectedness. So how do you know that you are connected? You know, you are in space where your heart is open. And one of the ways to really know that your heart is open is uh, it's when it's present, means like your heart is open, energy is living in love and faith. Then intimacy is gratifying and joyful. That connection is gratifying and joyful. You feel open to your life and to others. You look forward to being with others. You like the company of others. You care about other people genuinely. And a very key part is you would feel connected to them even if they do not feel connected to you. You would feel connected to them even if they do not feel connected to you, because your energy living in love and faith from your energy system is your work on your own self, you know. So it's like your heart is open, so it's working, and you're giving that love to somebody else. Similarly, the other person has to work on their selves to keep their heart open, or the energy from their heart center living in love and faith. So depending on how much their heart is open, how much the energy is living in love and faith, that much they can receive from you. So you can give a lot of love to somebody, they might not be able to receive it 100% exactly the way you are giving it, because of how much heart there is open or not. So, and it has nothing, and you won't feel bothered in a way because your heart is completely open. You continue to keep on giving. If you feel bothered, then you are going to close your own heart. Then energy would start leaving from your energy system in fear and panic. So when this is happening, you would feel interested in people. You would appreciate them, and you would appreciate that they are in your life, and you would appreciate everything which is happening in your life because you feel that beautiful connection with people around, the nature around. When this connection is missing, then intimacy is painful. You know, people would appear to you as objects. You know, and you might see some people in your life who represent these symptoms. You know, you're not interested in what they are feeling or thinking until unless how it affects you. You know, whether they are beneficial to you or not, or whether they are unsafe for you. You're more concerned about things such as a new car, a better job, than uh, you are with the people. And sometimes finishing the projects or achieving a goal becomes more important than the people around. So everything is more important to you than people unless you need them to accomplish what you want, which becomes a very mean kind of a nature, because though your heart center is closed and you're coming from the old conditioning, unintegrated emotions, the unsafety which you carried with it, how your mind interpreted that whole scenario, it's all becoming much more convoluted there inside, you know. So, and the reason I'm sharing with all of you these specifics are because you can understand why it is so important for your heart center to be open, because it is the one center through which you would feel the authentic power. So uh, connectedness, like the feeling that connection with people and with everything around, and the pursuit of external power, which is in other ways defined as the ability to manipulate and control, are totally incompatible goals. So one of the reasons why you're not feeling your own authentic power is because there is a blockage, because of which you don't feel that connection. But ultimately, now you want to feel that power, you want to feel that connection, but it's not in the authentic way. So you would go out and start exerting that power. So there would be everything and which would be coming out of force rather than love. So another way to understand is that the amount of force you require is directly like inversely proportional to the amount of love which is present in that situation. If you have love easily present, then you don't need any force. You don't need to control and manipulate others. And when you naturally create harmony, cooperation, sharing, and reverence for life, you cannot suffer from the lack of connection. And when you create connection, The way to create connection is when you shift from the pursuit of external power, like controlling or manipulating others, to the pursuit of authentic power. And that's what I mentioned at the very beginning about authentic power. So connection is also trusting that the universe will provide you what you need when you need it in the manner most appropriate for you, which is actually have a deep faith, which is about releasing the energy in love and faith. So I hope it's making sense to all of you as I'm sharing this. So you create connection when you shift from the pursuit of external power to the pursuit to authentic power, which means you're aligning all your energies, which is your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual energies, uh, with your own soul. And if you see all of these different pieces, emotional, personal, mental, physical, they're all different personas which we are playing. They're all different parts of our personality, the way we look, the way we think, the way we express ourselves, what we feel, the moods, and all that. These are all parts of the personality. And until and unless they are in alignment with your own soul, then you are always going to go for, you would miss the connection, but you're also going to go for the pursuit of external power. So now there are two different energies living inside, the one which is real you and the one which is all the personalities. And if they are, both of them are not aligned, then you are never going to feel the true connection with yourself. And the same thing is going to happen when you connect with other people. And one of the key things which it requires for you to get onto this journey of authentic power, to opening up your heart, is the connection actually requires vulnerability. It requires you to feel your uh, it requires you to feel your every sense of insecurity. You have to actually face that, what's going on. And that's why I mentioned earlier that what you can't feel, you can't heal. So you have to feel through all of this to heal through all of this stuff which is going on there. And as you feel this connection, this intimacy, it creates sensitivity. And when you are open, when you are connected, you become not just sensitive to your own self, you become sensitive to other people. So the amount you are sensitive to somebody else is amount you're sensitive to your own self, what's going on, how you're treating yourself. And I'm not talking about sensitive means like somebody's very much touchy kind of a person. Being truly sensitive, what's moving on inside. And because of this, you would have compassion for yourself and compassion for others. So when you're not intimate or connected, you are sensitive only to yourself. And even then, you're not aware of everything that you're feeling. You might be just like internally aware, just like I told you, stuck with your own stories, or externally aware, which is like who created the drama for you, the triggers for you. So when you do not recognize your deeper painful emotions of what they are, they shape your perceptions, their judgments, and actions. A lot of times, if you don't make sense of what you're feeling, what your emotions are going on, then you want to feel comfortable naturally. So what you do is you create a story around it, like this is what would have happened, this is what would have happened, and that's why this person did this, or this person means so such and such things, and then you attach a story with a character, and it becomes part of you, and you have a judgments around that whole thing, and now you are coming out of that judgments every time you are interacting with that particular person or a particular situation. So it becomes easier. So that's why sometimes for people, instead of dealing with their painful emotion, it's very easy to go out and blast somebody else, like to blame somebody else. So it becomes easier to become angry than to experience that you're insecure here, insecure inside, you're frightened. So all painful emotions are expressions of fear, and fear and hopelessness come together. And that's why you want to go out and exert external power to get a sense of control and feel that you can do the things the way you want, but they don't give you the experience of connection with your own self, with other people, and everybody else around. And the results which come out from exerting this external power is going to lead to more fear and more panic. And you can see the world around you and the people around you who use this kind of practice to get more power. What does it create? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a demo, and in this demo, uh, the overall idea is to open myself up, to open myself up so that I can deal with this unprocessed and unintegrated emotions, so that I am able to go and allow everything to be in the flow so that my energy system can actually start processing energy in love and faith. And because of that, I open my heart center. And when I open my heart center, there is a balancing of all the different energies of life. And when it's there, this balance is already there, the authentic power is naturally flowing. So when there is authentic power, the balance is there. When there is balance, the authentic power, they both go hand in hand. And then I would not need any kind of uh, tactics of putting a force there, using external power to control the circumstances around me. I would have faith in the life, faith in the universe, faith in how things are working, and move from that place uh, rather than actually exerting that external power to get the results which I really want to get. So ultimately, it's the whole idea is that connectedness which you want to feel is trusting that the universe will provide what you need and when you need it and in a manner which is most appropriate to you. And sometimes we think, oh, the manner should be this. It's not always like this. So once you have that connectedness available to you by opening your heart, you would feel that world to be a better place, and you can share your gifts with everybody else. There is no sense of insecurity there. Otherwise, the whole world right now is is in a space of disconnect. We can't trust each other because we can't trust ourselves enough. We don't know what's going on with ourselves emotionally. Even when the things are good, sometimes we don't feel as good because of the past unintegrated and unprocessed emotion, because of which we can't trust. We close ourselves down. We can't give the love which we want to give to somebody. We can't receive the love which we want to receive from somebody else. And all of this requires just a very gentle way of finding ourselves and opening up. And what I when I work with people, I actually showcase that how do we uh, how do we open our heart in in a setting which is safe, so that you can open yourself up, see yourself when you are not in your highest power, but at the same time, because you can feel this, whatever is stuck, you can heal it also. So I'm going to share this demo with you. A part of it would be there, but I would upload the full demo. Uh, Also, so if you have time and you're interested, you can have a look at it. So I work one-on-one with people, which is like individual coaching with people, and I also work in a group setting. So in a group setting, it's much more effective because when we bring people, we call it heart-centered uh, coaching, in which we bring people into a circle formation. In if you are in physical place, we do a circle, but we can do it online also if you are at different places. And everybody is very heart-centered and providing that support. So we use everybody's energy, which is being released at that moment in love and faith, to help somebody to come into more of their power by removing those blocks, by dissolving those unintegrated and unprocessed emotion so that they become integrated, they become processed, and now they become part of your authentic power. So a group setting is really great because all of you who have worked on your own self, in your own meditation, in your own path, I have personally realized that you can only go so much by yourself to a certain extent. But in a group settings, it helps you to open yourself much more and have transformation faster, because if you really see all the unintegrated or unhealthy emotions which has happened, they happen in connection with somebody else, like somebody hurt you, somebody betrayed you, somebody didn't love you the way you wanted, whether they were your parents or people who were supposed to support you, your well-wishers. So since that has happened in connection with somebody else, and to heal it, it needs to be in connection, not with the same people all the time, but in connection with other human beings, so that you could be witnessed in your pain, you could be witnessed in those parts which are carrying unintegrated and unprocessed emotion. You could be witnessed uh, in the place where your energy system is leaving energy into fear and panic. and then I guide you through step by step on that journey so that you can come slowly into your openness by using that group energy. And it's much more faster and effective way, as I'm able to experience in my journey itself. So I have two uh, options available for you today, in which you can start working with me more in the future, and I would like to share that with you. So if you go to my Facebook page, there is a product section. You can click here and you would find there are two different kind of options available if you want to work with me to come more into your heart-centered uh, place so that you can live your life fully. One is the personal coaching, people who work one-on-one, and it's been I've been working one-on-one with people, and it's a 5 week session. It used to be $750, but for this special webinar, I am offering it at $349, which is a really great value for for coming into your own power. And some of you who have worked with me would definitely know that the amount of value you would receive out of this connection would be amazing. Also, all those who want to work in the group, I'm offering this 7 week group practice, which is at $299, usually at $450 per head. But right now, it's available to you $299 as a special on this uh, uh, on this webinar itself only. So you have both these options. You have to work. You can work with. We have 7 weeks in which we come together. We allow everybody to share from their heart. I teach them the different practices, how people can connect more deeply, and come into your own heart space. So I would look forward to working with some of you and help you in coming to your own heart-centeredness, so that you can feel the fullness of your life. You can feel the connection with your own self, with others, with the nature, and with the divine itself, because it actually opens you up to that connection with the divine, whether you call it God, universal energy, or source, to connect at a very deep level and feel fulfilled your own original connection to that source. So that helps you with that. So it is it is available to everybody. It doesn't matter which religion, what practice, what you do. It's a very basic thing. By opening up your heart, by allowing your energy system to operate in love and faith, you would get that amazing authentic power, the access to that authentic power from where you can live your life fully. So without further ado, I'm going to share a part of the demo, and I'm also going to upload the whole demo for you guys to watch how it works. So if you have any questions, you can leave a message for me on the Facebook. You can send me an email. So thank you very much for joining this webinar series, and I hope it was beneficial to you guys, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks a lot, and have a great heart-centered life. Bye-bye. Okay, so I would be sharing a demo with all of you guys, and this demo is actually to showcase how this heart-centered skill works. So you can use this heart-centered skill to have a growing spiritual life. As I mentioned and explained what it takes to open your heart, what it takes to come into your authentic power, what creates authentic power, and once you have the authentic power, what is the access you get through your heart centeredness, through this heart chakra, which actually allows you to connect with your own self and also with other people at a very deep level. And this is the key to living a life which is much more joyful, much more fulfilled, and also coming from a state of your internal power and not dependent on anybody else. So I have few participants today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this process actually works, how I work with people, how I coach people, and bring them into their heart-centeredness. So I would share with you some key pieces here, and I'm going to give enough description so you guys know what exactly it is, because it's too much detail to really go and explain each and every bit and piece of it. But when would be really doing a heart circle, heart-centered coaching, then we would actually know what exactly each of these things means. So what we are doing is when we meet together, this is like a circle. Like online, this is the circle, but when we meet physically, it's a different setup. We sit in a circle. So when we sit in the circle, we would actually ask people to uh, come and share what's going on with them, which means like what's moving for them in this moment. And everybody, what they do is they go inside and they track, like based on the tracking tool which I shared with you guys last time. This they check what's going on at a physical level, at emotion level, at energetic level, at a spiritual level, and share there. And other people would actually give them a very loving and gentle attention. So before somebody shares, they just say like, I want to check in, may I have your attention please? And everybody says yes, go ahead. And that person tunes in, which means they go inside, take a moment of silence, just check what's moving for them inside, and then they share from there, and other people receive as they share. And if anybody resonates with their sharing, they just accept it, and by making a sound like yeah, and I feel you, or whatever is the way to really meet them at that level wherever they are. So after we do that sharing, we actually open up the space where people can connect with each other, and I would share a little bit more as we go. How do they connect with each other?
I'd like to check in. Can I have your attention?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, I'm feeling slightly distracted right in this moment. My business partner just came into my house, and I'm aware that she's there and I'm here, and I'm wanting to focus on being here, but then also connect with her. And I'm also still feeling excited about connecting with all of you and some people who I haven't seen for a long time. It feels reminded of how much I love you all. And what I want for this call is I want to really enjoy myself and authentically connect. And with that, I'm in.
Thank you. Thanks, Kay, for sharing.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I'd like to check in. Do I have your attention?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel very pleasant and excited to be on the call with everybody else. Most people I'm meeting for the first time. But it seems like still meeting from a place of the heart. Physically, I feel a lot of tiredness in the body. There's tension in the back, tension in the arms. I'm hoping to just relax and be present and in the moment and see what comes up. And with that, I'm in.
Wow. Feel that.
Yeah, that feels good.
Thanks, Pradeep. Who wants to go next?
I'd like to check in. May I have your attention, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm very aware of the fullness and my body digesting because I've just eaten. And I'm also aware of it's kind of a mix, a combination of excitement and nervousness. So I'm aware of the both and just observing it, just noticing it and just being present with it. And I'm I'm aware of how good it feels to be in a circle again and just being held. So I'm really enjoying that. And what I'm wanting is to be present in the experience and just to be. And I guess as I'm saying that, what I want to do is really, lack of a better word at the moment, just to suck it all in, just to allow the experience and allow myself to be in this, because it's such a gift. So I'm really aware of the gratefulness for being in the circle. So and with that, I'm in.
Yay.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you. I want to check in. May I have your attention, please?
Yes.
Yes.
I actually feel very calm inside. I also feel very excited. There is a sense of happiness to see all of you here, and to be here in one group. So I just really feel very happy and very grateful that all of you came here and to share your real heart-centered self here and allowing me to be in my heart center in this moment. And what I really want is in this moment is to just connect with all of you and enjoy being with all of you. And at the same time, I hope that whoever watches this video is actually able to feel that joy which I'm feeling, which all of us are connecting in this moment with each other, and really become aware that it's a very simple and powerful process to come into our hearts and enjoy our life completely without changing too many things. You can enjoy it now. So with that, I'm in. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek. I'd like to check in. May I have your attention?
Yes.
I feel very light and energized, and that feels so good, because I was feeling heavy and tired before and sore, and just once I saw all of you, even those I don't know, and I don't know if it's this technology, because I get to see all of you in full screen every now and then. It feels like you're all in my living room.
Yeah, it's technology.
And I can feel in my heart how much I've missed you all, and it just warms my heart to be here with you, and I'm very curious what we're going to do, and I just want to enjoy and really stay in this wonderful feeling of lightness. And with that, I'm in.
Thank you. Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? I think it is only one person.
I would like to have your attention, please.
Yes.
Feels good to have connected. I really kind of struggled to figure out how to get here, and what a great surprise! I didn't know who would be on the call. And it's first time I've connected with anyone since March. I guess it was April in Colorado. And So I'm feeling, wow. And as I look at each of you, you all glow. It's really amazing. You all look beautiful. It's really vibrant. And I feel that. I feel that. And so with Melanie, just I'm curious in terms of what will unfold. And I'm just feeling really content to be here and feeling just a lot of love. And with that, I'm in.
Thank you. Thanks for checking in, everyone. And as all of you see, that everybody just shares what's moving for them in this moment. And the overall idea is that we practice 5 skills. And as you would see as we move forward, there are 5 things which keeps on coming. And one is to be present with what's going on right now, to be real, when you share what's really going on with you, you share from that space, being authentic and real. And then some of us shared that what is it that we really want. This is being very clear, what is it I really want. And it's not what I really want 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. Yeah, we all have those plans, but what is it that I really want in this moment? And then also to be very heart-centered, because everybody is very heart-centered and connecting with each other and sharing from their heart, which is heart-directed. So 5 skills which we would practice here is to be present, to be real, to be clear, to be heart-centered, and to be heart-directed. So as we move to the next phase, which we call space taking, and space taking is basically we open up the space, which means this circle is a sacred space and we open it up for everybody. And anybody who really feels in this moment, it's their moment to experience something more. Like if they are in a place of not so much of happiness, they want to go to happiness, they can come and share that I want to take the space. And the reason why I want to take the space is around this area of my life. And it could be any area, which is like you are it could be an area around your relationships with somebody. It could be area around clarity in your career, your life purpose, or around money, or whatever is the issue. Wherever you want to get more clarity, you want to get experience more of it. So if you are sad, you want to experience happiness, and if you are anxious, you want to come into calmness, or even if you are already very happy and you want to go to the next level of happiness, you can take space for that. And its space is open for everybody. More than one person can express their desire to take the space, and then whoever takes the space, I actually coach them. If there are more than one person, we use the circle energy, which means everybody is heart-centered here, and it creates a very amplified field. An amplified field, everything becomes more experiential to everybody. So once you sit here in the circle, you would experience what I really mean by that. But right now, as you're watching this, what would happen is, like, if more than one person wants to share their desire to be the space taker, you would find out in the present moment whose desire is more more required in this moment, who needs to take the space more. It's not that whose desire is more authentic or not, but it's in this moment whose desire is most in need to be expressed right now. So I open this space for everybody, and wherever is required, I would actually share with you guys. And as one person is taking the space, everybody else is just holding a very loving and a very present attention on them, so that all the energy which is available here is provided to that person to come into more of their clarity and more of their joy. So the whole process is coming into more of their joy, because that's what heart-centeredness is. So that being said, I would open this space for everyone who's here, and you can just tune in, check in with yourself. If you really want to come into clarity around anything, like anything which is moving for you, and because it's a demo, we won't really have time to go to all the depth of it, but we would go to a place where we can get enough clarity so that everybody understands who's watching it, like how this process works. So keeping that in mind, we would go ahead and open the space, and whoever is ready, something is moving, you really want to express that, you want to come into your little more of your power, feel free to go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if this is space taking, but I have something that's moving.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right from when you asked Vivek, I had this feeling, no, it's not my time to take space. And then when no
Mm.
one was stepping up to take space, I was like, oh, I should take space. And then it just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I realized that I often feel obliged to say yes to many, many
Mm.
things. And that's what's up. And then it's ironic. It's like, well, I can't take space about that because it's, it's so bad. Yeah. But that's what's moving for me.
And it's interesting because sometimes people who think they shouldn't take space, they should be the one who should actually take space. Whatever is blocking them. And you did a great job by like tuning in and checking inside that. Or are you doing the space taking because of obligation, or do you really want to take space? So that's a very good way of showing that what it heart-centered really means to be.
Yeah. And right now it does feel like I'm here and I feel ready to take space, but I certainly didn't. I guess it's just like when it feels like something's moving and I'm ready to share. And in some strange roundabout way, that's what came up.
Okay. So
And I actually would, now that it's there in this moment, I would love to explore that that thing in me that thinks I need to say yes a lot more often than I probably need to. That is true for me.
right. So can you share with me in this moment what's moving for you right now?
I'm feeling a little bit nervous, and I'm also aware now that my strong "it's not my time to take space" also came from a I don't really want have to share myself, or that wanting to close off a little bit, and and now that I have put myself out, I feel proud of myself and a little nervous. Yeah.
So, that's great. So where is the nervousness actually coming from? Like, what is it that's making you nervous right now?
Good question.
Or
It
maybe you
doesn't.
can also check the part of your body where that nervousness actually.
It's in my chest,
Okay.
and the more I'm acknowledging it, the less it's there. Like it's dissipating.
Right.
It was just I don't really want to show up. What if I can't show up? Or if everyone's watching, it's easier not to show up.
Yeah. Is there any particular part of your life, a relationship or anything where it's hard for you to show up? Or it's challenging for you to show up?
Not one particular part strongly, but there's many little parts throughout the days. I think I really want to explore. Like, there's different parts of me that find it hard to show up, and definitely the strong, empowered. I'm not going there, or this is what I want, and I want you to listen to me. That part of me has a hard time showing up heaps of situations. As a coach, as a mum, with friends, yeah, all over the place. Probably especially as a mum.
So, especially it becomes challenging when you have to express your truth and to come into your power. That's the time which is more challenging for you to show up.
Yeah.
So, which is how, and it's a general question. What is more, and I won't say use the word suffering, but what is more painful or challenging, that not to show up or not to express your truth?
Not to
Like
express my truth.
Yeah, I can feel you. Everybody, can you feel her as she expresses that? So, do you want to continue doing that? Like, not to show up and not to express your truth?
No way.
So what is it that you really want around this thing?
I want to express my truth even when I'm afraid of how it affects other people.
That's amazing.
And even when there's a discomfort. Yes.
So as you share this, how do you feel right now?
Stronger.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, I could feel your strength right now. That's a good feeling, right? To share
It is.
your truth.
I feel taller and bigger.
Yeah. And I would ask everybody who's here, can you receive her as she's sharing this? It's a challenge, but right now she's showing exactly the same quality which she wants more of. Can you see her here? Can you acknowledge her? How do you feel when she is expressing that part?
Yeah, I feel the change in your energy, Kea. I feel you, I'm not sure what words to put it, just more in your power.
Yeah. That's how I feel too.
Yeah, Kea, I noticed your whole body change. Before you were kind of slumping more, and then I seen you just kind of rise up. And what I got a visual of is like a lion or a lioness, just I really enjoyed that. It was like, wow, there she is.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I rose so much I had to lift my computer screen up, or I'd be out of the thing.
I just felt a tremendous amount of love when you were getting so big, and I thought, wow, I love this woman. Just really felt big, really powerful.
Thank you.
So, Kea, how does it feel to really receive everybody? To be seen, like coming into your own power?
It feels, I feel seen, which feels good. I like feeling seen. And as a powerful woman, it feels like there's still something else there that if people didn't really want to hear what I was saying, or if people weren't as encouraging, or I had the story that they weren't, then it would be more challenging to come into my power and express myself.
So it's interesting. You expressed few things like what would people say if they're not interested in my story, right? What if they are not interested in me? Who's talking all of these things? Who's saying all of these things?
Well, I am, not from an empowered place.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think you are the only person experiencing this in life?
Definitely not. Sometimes it feels like I am, but
Yeah.
I know I'm not.
Yeah. And I would just ask quickly this question to everybody: like, do you guys feel the same way? You know, like what would people think about my story when I'm sharing? Will they take me seriously? All these things which Kea expressed. Like, do you guys feel that sometimes?
Definitely.
Yes. Feeling a need to shrink. Yeah, or not to speak. Yes. I'm really resonating with that.
Or to please people. I'm a very good people pleaser. I'm great at that.
Yeah, so if you really see, we all have parts of us which are not sure whether I should show up, or this is the right moment for me to show up or not. And then sometimes when that moment is over, we go back and say, like, I wish I could have shared that truth, you know, whether they liked it or they didn't like it, that's the secondary thing. I would have looked back and I would have not regretted that this is the part of me which needs to be shown up, to be into my power. And all that needs is more trust in my own abilities, in my own self. So my question to you is, what is it that's stopping you from coming into that place? What is stopping you to be like Kea right now, as you are? Even though you have little doubt, but you're still in your power.
What's stopping me in other situations?
Yeah.
The little voices in my head. What is stopping me? What is stopping me? What are they saying? I think it's mostly that I will shine too big.
Okay.
Outshine other people, especially the people I'm connecting with.
Yeah. So, what happens if Kea shines very brightly? What's going to happen if you come into your full shine, full brightness?
Well, there might be some people who might be challenged. But what happens is that I feel amazing and I feel like I'm living life, which is super important to me. I want to feel alive and I want to feel fully here and authentic. So no matter what, I'm honoring myself, which is pretty important.
Right. And if you show up and some people feel challenged, how does that impact you? Or your relationship with those people?
Well, I guess from an empowered space right now, my answer is it just gives me more opportunity for even more of me to show up and even more authentic connections. To navigate that, like that feels exciting. It doesn't always feel exciting, but I mean it does right now.
Yeah. Right. So, and I understand you're already accessing this power, you know, which is already there inside you. You're also very clear that, hey, It doesn't really matter whether people accept you the way you are, and whether whatever response they bring to your authenticity, it's important and it's more enjoyable for you to be into your power and your authentic self, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So so it's very clear. Like it didn't take a whole lot of time to really come to that understanding. So the question now here is like, what should be doing to come into that place of power when all of these voices are coming into your head? All of these doubts are there. All of these concerns which you have shared. So can you hold yourself in that power when all of these voices are there, right?
Yeah. Okay. So an action
Yes.
to hold myself in that power.
Yeah. And one of the things what we can do is, like, it's a suggestion if it resonates with you, is like we can, what we call it, the calm within the storm, which is all of us, like some of us can actually take the role of those voices in the head and speak to you. And you want to show up, and at the same time these voices are coming and saying, no, do that, whatever it is, and you feel your power even when these voices are there, so that you can stand in your power no matter what's happening.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
So before you say, I know you like to do that, but if there's something else, you don't have to go with me. You have to just feel into your heart if this is the right thing you want to feel, or if there is something else, you can go with that. Because at the end of the day, we are talking about you coming into your power authentically and showing up the way you want it.
Well, what is just coming to me is connecting with words that remind me of my power, and saying them to myself and breathing them in. And that's like something I can do in any situation. But it's also something I can do if we do an exercise like that where people are the voices. But
okay, that sounds great. Yeah. So, is everybody okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, Kea, how do you want it to unfold? How do you want the setup to be? Do you want people to speak those powerful words to you, or
no,
you want to speak out loud?
I'd like to speak my powerful words.
Okay.
Other people can say the other things that take me out.
Okay. Or if you want to make it a little challenging, you can speak your powerful words and everybody can speak the doubtful words.
Yes.
So there is a risk there, there is stress there. You can still keep telling yourself your own powerful words even when there are doubts coming. How's that?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Mm-hmm.
Great. Awesome. So, so what is it people want to say? And you can choose people like, and hey, can you say this? Can you speak this? And people can speak it. They can either start speaking all together, or they can pick up one after another, and you can continue speaking the way you want. So, before we move there, so everybody who's watching this is a process of getting into clarity. And what I mean by clarity is like taking somebody from point A to point B. So wherever they are, if they are sad, taking them to a place of happiness. If they are in their less power, taking them into a more powerful space. And if somebody is in joy, taking them into much more joyful state. And this is one of the methods which we are going to use today to take somebody from a place of less power to higher power, irrespective when the doubts are there. We all come into this space a lot of times. If we resonate with the example which Kay is sharing, it happens with us all the time. So I would pause here for a moment before I go to the exercise, and so that I can show you some of the process, how it goes to the next level where she comes into her power completely, even though all this negativity is there, all those doubts are there, and stand up into her power no matter what's going on, so that she can show up she could be heart-centered. So we would just jump back and share this process, and I would see how long it goes, and depending on that, I would give a quick briefing after that. So thank you, Kaya. So you want to go ahead? How do you want to set it up?
I would love everyone to say something, and I have some voices that are there. So, yeah, Cindy, I'd love you to say you're selfish.
Cindy, you okay with that?
Yes, I am. I can say you're selfish, Kaya.
And Melanie, I'd love you to say you're not worth it.
Okay.
And Pratibha, I'd like you to say that you're too big, or you're taking up too much space, or you're too loud. Mm. Renee, I'd love you to say you're being inauthentic. And Vivek, you're not doing it, are you?
Yeah, I'm not doing it. So
that's enough. That's enough words anyway.
And if you feel uncomfortable at any point of time, you can pause. You select what would be your word. You can say pause, and you would stop. People would stop speaking like that to you. Okay? And whether you feel uncomfortable about it, or you just feel I have enough of these voices coming to me, and after that, you can continue whatever way you want to continue. So you want people to start speaking all at the same time, or these voices come one by one? What would be their trigger to start?
I'm happy for them to come anytime, but probably not all at once, or I won't really hear them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And what is it that so you would start yourself speaking first, or you would hear the voices and then you would start speaking your powerful words?
I'll start speaking my powerful words first.
Okay. So, everybody clear? Anybody has any questions? Okay, great. So, Kaya, go ahead.
Okay. So, I am fully alive. And I'm in my power. I'm powerful. And I'm authentic.
Really just very selfish. I think this is just very self-indulgent and very selfish.
And I'm in my joy. I'm joyful. And in my power. No matter what.
Seems so inauthentic to me.
And I'm really grateful for anything that comes to me, because I know I'm in my power and I know I'm being authentic.
You just want it all. And it's really very selfish.
And so inauthentic.
And I'm really loving as well. I'm in my love, in my heart, and I'm in my power. And it feels good.
What makes you think that you're worth being able to say these things?
And I know I'm worth it.
You're not really worthy.
No.
Oh, you're not really worthy.
I'm fully worthy. I'm fully powerful. And I'm alive. And that's what matters. I'm fully alive.
Loud. You're just too loud and you act so big.
And I love being big. I'm being big from now on.
Big and inauthentic.
Yeah, it's very selfish and wanting to causing all the attention.
I love it.
You think you're worth this? Say it's not. You're not worth listening to.
It's awesome. Oh, I've totally come a long way. I love it. I can hear the voices, and they kind of get to me a little bit, but I'm still here in my power.
So now you're being authentic?
I am. I'm being really authentic, and I'm loving it.
Really?
Self-centered.
Absolutely. And I
So,
love it. And I love being self-indulgent sometimes.
So you
Kea,
really think you're worthy?
I'm totally worthy. I'm fully worthy.
so Kea, as you're speaking your words, and you're also hearing all of these voices, we have kind of gone through a couple of rounds. How does it feel for you?
I feel empowered. And I remember last time I did this exercise, I did not feel empowered. It was horrible.
I'm completely impressed.
Yeah.
So yay. Thank you.
Do you want to do one more round, or do you feel that's good enough for you?
It feels like I don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So, how do you feel? Can you just tune in this moment and share with us what's going on for you right now as you are into your power?
I'm feeling excited for the possibilities of what I can do and how I can express myself in the world in all the different ways I can. Like it's fun to feel in my power. Feeling maybe there's so much more of me that I can share. That's very exciting. Yeah.
Would you like to hear from others how they feel in this moment, experiencing
Yes.
you in your power?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So just share from your heart what you feel as you're seeing Kea coming into her power, and meet her where you can express, and connect with her in her job.
Yeah. This is really good medicine for me because seeing you and feeling you in your power just it's an invitation to me to be in my power, to let my light shine. You're not a person who is ever going to be arrogant or egotistical. You don't have that in you. I've never seen that in you. Your light and your power, it's going to light everybody else up around you. It's, it's going
Thank
to
you.
give them permission to step into their own. So,
Wow, that's pretty special. It's contagious.
yes, very contagious.
What I
Thank
love,
you.
Kaya, is the delight that you expressed when you were talking about feeling in your bigness. And even when I would say you were selfish or self-indulgent, you would just say, I like being self-indulgent. It wasn't, oh, you were trying to say you're wrong, I'm this, but you were just accepting of, hey, so what? I love this. This is what I love about myself. I just think you were taking on your whole self. And it was just coming from you. I could feel it. You didn't need to convince us that it wasn't true. What we were saying was not true. It was very cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. I felt it. It was inspiring.
Thank you. Woo.
Just seeing the honesty, and actually you were very, very authentic. Through all you don't sound authentic. You were sounding totally, totally the opposite. Very authentic and extremely courageous. So, for me, there are just three words that stuck out: honesty, honest, courageous, and authentic. So that was great.
Thank you.
And Kea, I was aware of the excitement within myself and the joy that it was for me to experience you being joyful in your expression of your power and really claiming it and owning it for yourself. It was a gift. I could see you were giving to yourself, and you gave to me as well, because like Melanie had spoken, to give me the strength, the courage to say that it's okay to be me and to allow all of me to be seen. And so I really enjoyed the process, and I can still see the light in you from that, and I so honor that within you, and I'm claiming it for myself as well.
Yay. Thank you. And I see it in you too.
So, Kea, how does it feel to receive all of these people, who are so amazing, to witness you? And before I ask you that question, actually, I should share with you that I can see that childlike playfulness in you and the innocence in you, that all the questions around being inauthentic, you're too loud, you are shining too brightly. All of these doubts are no longer there. It's just you. It's just your playful you, the loving you, and you're just expressing yourself. And just you expressing yourself is giving me so much joy. I would want to see more of you in that way. So thank you for sharing that part with me, with us, all of us.
Thank you. Well, it feels like I'm just been given to so amazingly. Like I'm all filled up. Like I'm like I've got so much. Like when you can't stop smiling, and I feel great. Thank you. I feel so fed, and I feel fed. It's amazing. I just have to fully be me and be self-indulgent and all of that stuff, and I feel fully given to. Even more, not just from myself, but from everybody else as well.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing. And do you feel complete with this process right now?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And it's amazing and beautiful, as you see. Like you were the one who was having doubts about, hey, should I take the space, right?
And I'm glad I
should
did.
Yeah. And should I?
And that's interesting. Yeah. Well, that when I have a strong voice, no, it's not my time to take space. That probably means it is. I like
Yeah. So it's amazing, like how circle energy guides the right person who needs to take space, and since you were the only person who was taking space, even if there were more than one person there, and there are more than two people, the circle energy would guide who is the right person, because it's not that somebody who's not taking the space is missing out on something. The person who's taking the space is providing the right energy, the right medicine to everybody else who's in the group. So nobody goes empty, because when you are in a heart-centered space, everybody is connected. What you are experiencing here, we all are experiencing various degrees of that, whether it's your tension or whether it's your joy in this moment, depending on how much we are open in our own heart. So that's why heart-centered living is actually everyday practice. How much we open ourselves so that we can express more of us, give more of us from our authentic self, where we don't have to think. A lot of time you have to think, should I do this? Should I not do this? Am I obligated? All of these confusions goes away, because all of these doubts we all carry. But when we are connected in that heart-centered space, we share it with everybody else very easily. And at the same time, everybody else who receives feels so grateful that they share from their heart. So it's a wonderful place to be in, to give easily and to receive easily. So it's amazing. That's the beauty of the process, which I want to share with all of you. So before we close, I want to ask anybody. Anybody want to share something? Any last words from anyone you want to share about this process? Share anything to Kea or anyone else or with me? Feel free to do so.
Mm.
Because we got so much of medicine from this process, just witnessing it.
Yeah, I'm just was struck when you said, Kea, that you felt fed, and I just wanted to say I feel fed by your process, and I hope that you will remember that when if any voices of doubt comes up, that you stepping into your light, into your power, it not only feeds you, it feeds those around you, and yeah, just want to say that.
Thank you. I'll remember that.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so thank you for all of you to be present here. I know it's a little late at some of your folks' places, so thank you for sharing your wonderful time and your heart here so that everybody can witness what it really means to come into your own heart, into your own joy, and to live from there, to express from there openly. And as you open yourself up, it's a process of just naturally growing. It's a practice which we do. So heart-centered spiritual living is a everyday practice, and we continue to grow. We get more in touch with our own heart's longing to know what we really want in our life, and not from a place of neediness, but from a real longing. And when we connect to our longing, it's very easy to express them, and at the same time receive what the life provides as a feedback to us. And by coming into our own heart-centeredness, we give permission to everybody around us, whether our family, whether people with whom we work, to come into their hearts and just make a very enriching experience of all the relationship which we come in contact with. So thank you for joining in, and I really appreciate all of your time. So I look forward to connecting with all of you soon, and all of you who are watching this video. When you would be part of this circle, as you choose to come in, you would experience much more beauty and joy and magic living from this heart-centered space. Thank you.